Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. If you've never been here before, be sure and subscribe and ring that little bell, and it'll notify you every time I upload a new movie review. My goal is to give you the inside scoop on these movies so you can make the best decision for you and your family to decide if it's worth your time and your money to watch these movies. So, I'm excited to tell you about a new documentary that just released. It's available on iTunes, Amazon, and more through video on demand. The name of the movie is called After So Many Days. So, this movie is rated R for 6 F-bombs. Now, it actually doesn't have a rating because it's a documentary, but that's the rating I'm giving it. And really, it's only for the language. But I'll give you some tips for parents here in just a few minutes. It's an hour and 26 minutes. And the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is an A. I actually really enjoyed this. Let me give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out the tips for parents, talk about themes that the movie introduces, and then point out some things I liked and didn't like about the movie. All right. So, first of all, in a nutshell, overtly truthful, as Jim calls it. This musical documentary allows you to be a fly on the wall while you watch a newly married couple conquer their goal of playing one show every day for an entire year. So Jim Hanft and Samantha Yannick travel through 14 different countries and experience inspiring ups and heartbreaking downs in their music career and in their relationship. Their music is easy breezy and a delight to listen to along the journey. So, musicians who are also trying to make it into the biz, I think will be really fascinated. After So Many Days will screen at the Nashville Film Festival in October and has been an official selection at more than 30 film festivals worldwide. Now, some tips for parents. As I mentioned, there's some profanity and 6 F-bombs. So Jim is the one with the potty mouth in the movie. I like you, Jim. I like you a lot. So kids may not be interested in the music business. They might be bored. It's a documentary, but if they're into music or have hopes and aspirations of getting into the music business, they might be interested. And again, I thought it was just a joy to experience. Some themes that were brought out in the filming of their journey are how music brings people together. The biggest message is to go for your dreams, and they absolutely do. Other themes are rejection, passion, hope, courage, and of course, love. Love for each other, love for music, love and even respect for themselves to not give up on themselves and to go for their goals. So, here's a list of things that I really liked about the documentary. First, I loved watching them write the song on their trip that the movie title is based on. I thought it was very, very sweet. It was really fun to see the traveling troubadours perform shows in random venues spontaneously. It's motivating to watch people who never give up on their goals. So the idea was that they were going to have these big concerts, but sometimes they fell through. And so, in order to meet their goal of performing every single day, they would just go into stores or places or in an apartment and grab somebody even and say, watch our performance, and then we can count it towards our goal. And so I thought that that was really fun to watch the people responding to their spontaneous performances as well. It's also interesting to watch life on the road and see all of the odd places that they slept in. They didn't shy away from the realities of the business, like how they were going to pay their bills and get back up after being rejected. It was really an inspiring lesson in hope because we all go through that. We're not all in the music business, but whatever business we're in, we absolutely have our ups and downs. And so I loved their resilience, that they didn't just mope and be sad, they just kept going. And that was really inspiring. The film is actually going to be accompanied by the full length album called, guess what? after so many days, released by Network Records in October, actually came out on the 9th. And I love that they were able to show one of their big successes during the filming. You're going to want to buy their album just because their music is so lovely, but you're also going to want to support them in their quest for musical success. And I wish them the very best of luck. And they're not just waiting for luck, they're making things happen. And that I think was inspiring too. I liked the insightful conversations that they had with people that they met along their path. And speaking of people they met on their path, I thought it was really cute. But they were driving along and they noticed that all these cows started to like move towards the fence where they were gathered on the other side of the road. So they stopped and they walked over there and they gave a little performance to the cows. It was adorable and really cute. I thought that was really fun. I loved also seeing different parts of the countries that they were traveling in. I would have loved to have seen more, and they didn't really play tourists. They didn't just go shopping, or maybe we didn't see it, but it looked like it was all work from venue to venue. And they did so much traveling and they really didn't act like tourists. They just act like they were there to do their business. And that kind of was impressive. Although, I kind of wanted to see more of the countryside. Their voices and their lives blend so well together. And not only do Jim and Sam sing beautifully together, but they also wrote, directed, and produced the documentary, filming 365 days straight, in addition to performing 365 days straight. That's especially impressive since they didn't have all this expensive camera equipment, and you could tell sometimes they were just filming from their cell phones. And even still, it's a good documentary, even without all of that fancy equipment. Now, there were a few things that I didn't like as much. For example, it looked like they flew back and forth to Sweden a lot, and that had to have been expensive. And they were struggling financially when certain concerts would cancel on them and their housing situation experienced some difficulty. And so I would have liked to have learned more about their connection to Sweden. Why was it that they were going to Sweden so often? I'm not saying I didn't like that part of the movie. I would just like to have had more information. I've been to Sweden. I love Sweden. So I understand why they would want to go back. I was just curious mostly. And then I just felt so bad when they came to Las Vegas, where I live. I would have gathered a very enthusiastic audience for them had I known. And so they ended up having just a small gig there. And I also would have loved to see more drone shots of the countries where they traveled, just so that the viewer could kind of get a feel for where they were and even to appreciate the great distances that they traveled. Anyway, those are very small things. Just I wanted more information. Now, be sure and visit my website, moviereviewmom.com. And that's where I write down funny lines or interesting lines or things that I think were especially insightful that I don't often cover here in my movie review on YouTube. But I'm going to share one of them with you because I thought it was so great. So Jim says, somebody was asking him, what are you guys doing with your show? And he says, well, we're attempting to do a show every day for a year. And Sam says, we're not attempting, we're doing. And I loved that because especially in a COVID world where, people are just getting really sad and depressed and just tired of all of this, that we have to develop resilience. We have to still go for our goals. There are always going to be a million reasons and excuses why we can't reach our goals. And they just didn't have any of it. They just said, we're doing it. And so I thought that was really great. And then here, I'll give you another one. Sam says, it's nice to do something every day that makes you feel good. And you can see that as soon as they perform, you just see that they really love that. And I always enjoy a performance when the performer is loving what he or she is doing. It just makes it even more enjoyable for the viewer, I think. And then finally, Sam said, music at the end of the day is just meant to uplift people. And so I think that this movie is uplifting. It's certainly admirable, the goal that they set for themselves. And they don't just try, they accomplish the goal. And that was awesome. So before I go, I'll give you a recommendation of another movie that I think you might also enjoy that's sort of similar. It's another documentary. It's called It All Begins with a Song. And it features storytellers, the songwriters, mostly in Nashville, Tennessee. I also thought that that was really enjoyable. So you can check that out. I'll play my review at the end of this review. So you can click on that in the center of the picture and watch that one. All right. I hope you are safe and healthy and stay kind out there. I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.